What up, what up, everybody? This is Matt from the DLC guys, and I decided to make this video because I had a question. Is Destiny 2 really better? I've been playing it for a few weeks, and the question came up, and I think it'd be a perfect opportunity to answer that question right now. Alright, so let's get into this. So there's three things that I wanted to discuss in this video. The first being the story, second being the in-game, and then third ultimately being PvP. So with the story in Destiny 1, of course Destiny had what everybody knows, a sorry excuse for a story. And if you wanted to know anything or just what in the world was going on, then you had to go online and read the Grimoire cards just to get a rough estimate of what you were doing. Meanwhile, in Destiny 2, as we all know, Bungie spent most of their time focusing on the story of Destiny 2, almost so much to the point that it rather seems as though they may have neglected parts of the endgame. Also in Destiny 1, we got the use of sparrows, which was great because of all the running around we had to do just to get from one large area to another in any campaign, which otherwise would have been an extremely daunting task for even the most loyal of Destiny fans. However, in Destiny 2, the developers decided not to give us access to sparrows during the campaign, which I'll certainly admit ticked me off quite a bit. Because like, who in their right mind would want to walk everywhere in this game? Especially when the developers stated from the beginning that the European Dark Zone was the largest free roam space that they have ever created in Destiny. But I digress. The one thing that they did compensate us with was the ability to fast travel from place to place. Still kind of sucks because you couldn't ride a sparrow, but I did feel as though they didn't leave us completely hanging. Alright, so going on to point number 2, the endgame. So let's face it, the endgame of Destiny was downright atrocious. The bulk of the content that kept us coming back for more and the grind that is Destiny came explicitly from the DLC, and that stands for downloadable content, and other updates. So given the nature of how much content there was at the end of Rise of Iron DLC, hey, that stands for downloadable content too, versus the Dark Below when it first hit the streets was complete night and day. In fact, a lot of people jumped ship shortly after and never even returned to the game due to the extreme lack of in-game content. Now, with Destiny 2, it feels like we have the same old story, just on a different day, but worse. Now, why is it worse, you ask? Well, let's take a closer look and see what's readily available after the main campaign is over. So, a couple of strikes, a nightfall, a first raid, and a few PvE game modes. Now, some of you may be hearing that and thinking, well, heck there, buddy. I get all that from the get-go? Sign me up there, man. I'll tell you what. But coming from the end of Rise of Iron in Destiny 1, there was all of that plus more. You had public event spaces like Court of Oryx and Archon's Forge. There was also Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, yay! And who could forget Skolas and the ever-changing Prison of Elders? These were the staples that we who were true to Destiny had to look forward to each and every week with every weekly reset. And these were our staples. And to go from all of that and all of those options back to square one makes me feel as empty as a zombie in a mannequin factory. I mean, just think about it. So lastly but not leastly, we have PvP modes. And with Destiny 1 at the very end of the game, leading into Destiny 2, there was so much that you as a Guardian could do in PvP. There were over 30 maps. There were several different rotating special events like Iron Banner, Trials of Osiris. At a few times they had sparrow racing. They had a league with doubles. Then you had your weekly playlist, and of course you always had your permanent playlist, which would kind of interchange with some of the weekly playlists. But the thing that I really want to point out is that there was a different mode for different gamers. Some people, if you like to play with a lot of other people or you like to play solo, there was something for you, and there was always something to do. So when we fast forward to Destiny now, it's a brand new game, but again, we're limited to what modes that we have right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I completely understand the difference between a finished game that is at the end of its life and a brand new one that's just starting. The differences that I'm trying to point out are in magnitude of content between what we just left and what we have right now. I would assume that Destiny is very good at making content, obviously, since this is one of the best-selling games in recent years. I feel as if Bungie could have did more to bridge the gap between what we were leaving in Destiny 1 versus what we are coming back into in Destiny 2. Now, the biggest change in Destiny 2's PvP modes is the addition of two different playlists, which is Countdown and Supremacy. Countdown is 4x4, similar to King of the Hill, where Guardians must defend the central charge from an enemy team. And Supremacy is Destiny's take on Kill Confirmed, where the object is to collect the most crests that drop from enemies after a kill. And so, of course, with all these new game modes, they have changed every single game mode to be 4 versus 4. So that includes, of course, Countdown and Supremacy, Control, Survival, and Clash. So there's some changes that we have. We don't have 2 versus 2 or 6 on 6 anymore, 3 versus 3 or any free-for-alls. Everything is 4 on 4 for right now, until we either see an update or we get some more DLC. And that stands for downloadable content. So for my last and final thoughts, is Destiny 2 a good game? Absolutely. I love playing it. I love playing everything that is Destiny. I'm a huge Destiny fan and can't wait to get more in depth with the game and get leveled up and do some raids and everything. Do I also enjoy playing Destiny 1? Absolutely. There's so much that they improved upon over time in Destiny 1 that you can't completely throw it away. It's still a great game. I wouldn't mind paying, maybe not full price, maybe not $60 for a copy of Destiny 1, but certainly at least half price. I mean, I wouldn't mind shelling out some more money for Destiny 1 because I enjoyed the game so much and I felt that they improved upon what they originally set out to do. But don't just let me have all the fun and talking and comparing Destiny 1 and 2. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Is Destiny 2 better or is Destiny 1 better? From your thoughts and where you think the journey is going to go from Destiny 2. Hey, and while you're there, why don't you hit the like button and subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications so you can be the first to know whenever we put out more of this buttery goodness. Once again, this is Matt from the DLC guys, and until next time, I'll holler at y'all later.